There is an account at the cryptocurrency exchange Kraken. It is registered to one man by name. Federal investigators had it restrained, frozen, while they built a case against him. And when that case ended, a federal court in Kentucky ordered the contents forfeited to the United States. Roughly $290,000 in cryptocurrency, taken. Then, prosecutors say, in January 2024, the money started to move. Through one exchange, then another. Then through mixing services built to break the trail. And out the far side is ordinary money sitting in a bank account overseas. The man whose name was on that account did not watch it go from a laptop at home. At the time, according to the Justice Department, he was inside a federal prison, several years into a sentence of more than 9 years, for laundering millions of dollars taken from Americans who believed they were buying cars. By the end of this video, you will know exactly what allowed money that a court had already taken to keep moving, and why the people who found it do not describe it as a paperwork error. Seize a house, and the government changes the locks. Seize cash, and it goes into a vault. Seize cryptocurrency, and a judge signs an order, and the coins stay exactly where they are until somebody with the key moves them. That gap has a length. Counting from the day the order was signed, in this case, it ran for 3 years. To understand how a frozen account under a court order can still empty out, you have to go back to a counter in Sofia, Bulgaria, where the cash came in paper bags. Rossen Iossifov owns and runs a cryptocurrency exchange called RG Coins, headquartered in Sofia, Bulgaria. On paper, it is a business like any other. People bring coins, they leave with money. At least 5 of his principal clients are Romanian fraudsters. In court records, they belong to a criminal enterprise called the Alexandria Online Auction Fraud Network. The front end of that operation is almost old-fashioned. Members post advertisements on Craigslist and eBay for expensive goods, usually vehicles. The vehicles do not exist. At least 900 Americans send payment for them anyway. The back end is where it turns modern. Associates inside the United States collect the victim's money, convert it into cryptocurrency, and send it to launderers abroad. Iossifov is the last link in that chain, the man who turns the coins back into cash. At trial, prosecutors showed the business had been built for exactly that job. Network members received better exchange rates than ordinary customers. They could trade cryptocurrency for cash without producing identification and without being asked where the money came from, while, according to the evidence, Iossifov was telling the major Bitcoin exchanges that supported his own business the opposite. The court record contains the details. When one of the Romanians asked for his money without showing identification, no questions asked, an email account associated with Iossifov replied that it would be, quote, no problem. Prosecutors produced emails showing he agreed to count the cash out in advance, away from the view of other customers, and to have it waiting in a paper bag before the man arrived at the storefront, so he would not run into anyone on the way in. Another client, a fraudster from North Macedonia, was introduced by an online criminal using the name Nemanja and got a VIP card for discounts at RG Coins. Years later, on the witness stand, Iossifov is asked about the paper bag email. He answers that he personally did not see anything suspicious in the request, and that, he says, is why he kept working with the man. Late in 2014, investigators identify an American in the Eastern District of Kentucky who is moving money for the network. In June 2015, they confront him. He becomes a confidential source, and then he goes back to work, handling the network's money exactly as before, now under the supervision of the United States government. For the fraudsters in Romania, nothing changes. The payments keep arriving, the coins keep flowing east, the men in Sofia keep counting out cash. If you want the cases the headlines drop after one day, subscribe. That is the whole channel. Meanwhile, the Secret Service follows the money the way this kind of money can be followed, on the blockchain, where every transfer leaves a permanent record. Between 2015 and 2017, agents count the transactions running between 4 of the network's principal members and Iossifov's exchange. The paper bags were untraceable. The coins that paid for them were not. In September 2020, Iossifov stands trial in Frankfort, Kentucky, before Judge Robert E. Weir. It lasts 2 weeks. The jury convicts him on 2 counts: conspiracy to commit a racketeering offense and conspiracy to commit money laundering. On January 12, 2021, the court delivers more than a sentence. It states precisely what the government is taking back. The prison term runs beyond 9 years, and under federal law, he must serve 85% of it. The court orders him to pay $2,642,297.43 in restitution to the victims of the scheme. And then comes the part that matters for everything that follows. The court enters a forfeiture money judgment against him, and it orders him to forfeit cryptocurrency held in an account registered to him at the Kraken exchange, worth about $290,000, an account that had already been restrained during the criminal investigation. Notice what that sequence does not include. The account has his name on it. The account is frozen. A federal court has ordered its contents surrendered to the United States. 3 things are true at once, and not one of them means the government is holding the coins. And not one of them means the government is holding the coins. A forfeiture order transfers ownership. It does not transfer control. Ownership is a line in a judgment. Control is a key, a string of characters that either the government has or somebody else does. A string of characters that either the government has or somebody else does. Until that key is used to move the balance onto a government wallet, the coins sit exactly where they have always been, in an account belonging to a man who is now in prison. In August 2022, a federal appeals court reviews the conviction and leaves it standing. The order was signed. In August 2022, the coins did not move. According to the indictment, between approximately January and December 2024, Iossifov conspired with others to conduct financial transactions designed to remove that $290,000 from the Kraken account and to prevent and impair the ability of the United States to take the contents of that account into its custody and control. Prosecutors say the money was then pushed through multiple cryptocurrency exchanges and illicit mixing services and converted into ordinary currency in a foreign bank account. Here is what the public record does not say. It does not say how a man inside a federal prison took part in any of it. It does not name the others. And it does not explain how an account that had been restrained during a federal investigation could be drained at all, 3 years after a judge ordered its contents surrendered. Those are not small gaps. They are the actual questions in this case, and no public document answers them yet. What is on the record is this. On July 8, 2026, Rossen Iossifov made an initial appearance in federal court in the Eastern District of Kentucky. The next day, the Justice Department announced the charges: removal of property to prevent seizure, aiding and abetting, and conspiracy to commit money laundering. If convicted, he faces up to 25 more years. The Assistant Attorney General said he is charged with moving cryptocurrency obtained from his crime in violation of a court's forfeiture order. The first Assistant U.S. Attorney called it a direct affront to the authority of the federal courts and said it compromised the rights of victims who had already suffered significant financial harm. The Secret Service agent in charge called it a blatant disregard for those victims' rights. The investigation was run by the Secret Service. The charges are allegations. He has not been convicted of them. Underneath the charges sits a mechanism that has nothing to do with this defendant. It needs a name. Call it a paper seizure, a confiscation that is legally finished and physically unfinished. The state owns the money, and somebody else can still reach it. Nobody has said publicly how many accounts are in that condition right now. Ordered forfeited, still holding coins, still sitting where they were the day the judge signed. In this case, that gap ran for 3 years. Prosecutors say somebody used it.